Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to thank everyone in the Forum of the Future of Investment team for giving me the opportunity to speak at this wonderful event. My name is Rafael Angouw, and today I'll be talking about my project Reeformers as well as how it relates to the future of investment. So in this presentation, I'll be going over what Global Goals Week is. I'll also be talking about a little bit about myself. Then I'll be discussing what we do at Reformers. Then I'll be going over our coral adoption program, our corporate social responsibility program, as well as the importance of impact investing in coral conservation. So, what is Global Goals Week? Well, Global Goals Week is a commitment among 150 plus partners to accelerate action on the SDGs, or the Sustainable Development Goals. And this is especially during the UN General Assembly High Level Week. So Global Goals Week gives the opportunity for people to, speak out and share their ideas to combat global challenges. So why should the youth engage with Global Goals Week? Well, through Global Goals Week, us, the youth, we have the opportunity to express our opinions on how to make our planet better and a more prosperous one. And aside from this, Global Goals Week also allows the youth to become change makers in their own communities. So in our own schools, our cities, our countries, whatever. And this is a chance for all of us, all young people, to be heard because we, the youth, are the future of our planet. So, a little bit about myself. I am a grade 12 student. I'm a senior in Jakarta Intercultural School, Indonesia. I was a youth delegate during the UN World Oceans Day 2023 conference. In December of last year, I was a speaker for the Indonesian SDG annual conference. This year in June 30, I was a guest speaker in the Southeast Asia Today morning show. And May 4th, I was a presenter for the Catalyst 2030 Catalyzing Change Week 2023. I have been a Young Pioneers Forum youth leader since 2022. And since 2020, I've been the co-founder of Roots Art Lab, which is another passion project I have. And Roots Art Lab is basically a company that aims to reduce the negative environmental effects of fast fashion through customization of used apparel. Since 2021, I've been a varsity singer, which makes that 3 years. Since 2022, I've been a member of my school's class council and essay board. Aside from that, I have been a program officer for Logged in the Service Club since last year, and I've been a PADI certified open water diver since 2020. And for my honors and awards, this year during the summer, I placed 4 out of 300 teams globally in the Model Entrepreneur Competition, which is a competition created by Columbia and Venture for All. I also last year placed second out of 365 teams for Reformers in the Bluepreneur Startup Bootcamp competition, which is Asia-wide. For third, I am 1 out of 2 high school students from Indonesia that is a youth fellow for the UNESCO-led Learning Planet Alliance. And basically, I'm part of the environment team. And I'm also a two-time finalist 2022 and 2023 for the Association for Music International Schools, or AMI solo competition. So why do we need coral reefs? Well, first of all, coral reef ecosystems provide food for 3 billion people globally. So it's a really integral part of a lot of people's livelihoods. Second, it drives $36 billion of economic impact and support millions of jobs in the tourism industry. And it also protects us from natural disasters such as tsunamis, hurricanes, and floods. So it's really, really important. But the problem our coral reefs are facing is that by 2050, 90% of our reefs are likely to disappear. Now, this issue is really, really, really important, and it's really urgent that we solve it because, first of all, there are going to be severe environmental impacts. With our coral reefs disappearing, there's going to be a severe destruction of marine ecosystems, which will cause a significant loss of biodiversity. And with less coral reefs present, there will be more carbon in the atmosphere. Aside from the environmental impacts, there are also social impacts because 3 billion people around the world depend on the ocean for their livelihood. So, with the loss of coral reefs, there will be food insecurity, negative economic impact, increased vulnerability to natural disasters, and negative health impacts. So, what is the solution that Reeformers brings to the table? Well, what we bring to the table and what we do is coral transplantation and monitoring. So, what is coral transplantation? Well, coral transplantation is planting and growing resilient corals underwater in order to build new ocean habitats and uplift coastal communities. So, why do we do coral transplantation? Well, first of all, coral transplantation allows us to multiply coral populations. And if there are new coral populations, then this builds new ocean habitats, specifically resilient ones, because the corals that we choose to plant are the ones that are specifically resilient to current climate conditions. Aside from this, with these new resilient ocean habitats, it supports an abundance of marine biodiversity. And this will cause more income for both the tourism and fisheries sector. And with more corals underwater, it contributes to oxygen production and carbon dioxide absorption. So, a very integral part of what we do is our monitoring activities, which is a follow-up to our coral transplantation. Now, we do our monitoring activities every month. Now, through our monitoring activities, we ensure that the corals that we plant can grow healthily and survive. So, during our monitoring activities every month, our team of divers go down to our site, Reeformers Reef, and first of all, they collect growth data. So this is height, size, and branching of our corals. Then they document new species, new biodiversity. Like as you can see here on the screen, there's a nudibranch, which is one of the biodiversity we have in our site. And they also document new coral recruitment. Then they collect water quality data, which is temperature, salinity, pH, currents, tides, and other oceanographic conditions. Then our team of divers clean corals from turf algae. Now, this is very, very important because the corals that we have just planted are still baby corals, so they're quite vulnerable. So that's why we have to clean them from turf algae to make sure they can survive and grow healthily into independent mature corals. Then, if there are any dead corals, we replace them with new coral babies or coral fragments. And for each of our monitoring activities, we always do an ocean and beach cleanup. So now I'll be talking about the Reeformers Coral Adoption Program. So our coral adoption program is one of the ways we get our funds to continue, doing the conservation work that we do. So for the coral adoption, we price it at a subscription-based method. So we charge 25 USD per coral per year. And if you want to get a whole shelf or a whole rack, which consists of 16 corals that are a mix of 5 resilient species, that would cost 375 US dollars per shell per year. And these are the things that our adopters get when they become a coral adopter. So first of all, they get a certificate of adoption, as you can see on the left. So their certificate has a photograph of the coral they adopted, and next to it, there's a picture of the diver that transplanted the coral. And they also get the species, the date, as well as the specific coordinate of where the coral is planted. Then they get a semi-annual and annual report so they can see how their corals are doing and the progress at which their corals are growing. And they can also see, all the data we collect in our monitoring activities are here in our semi-annual and annual report. So it's very, very complete and very, very comprehensive. And lastly, they also get a adopter spotlight in our social media and our website. So as you can see here, this is one of our adopters that we have spotlighted. We got their testimony and sort of their explanation to why they wanted to adopt the coral. So yes. So this is our second program that we have to get funds, which is the corporate social responsibility program. And specifically this year, we got a CSR sponsorship from the automotive company Mercedes-Benz Distribution Indonesia. And so basically what Mercedes-Benz did is they adopted 1,280 of our corals, and they committed to 3 years of coral adoption, because 3 years is the time it takes to ensure successful coral growth until coral becomes independent and mature. And this CSR sponsorship was a part of their land, sea, and air sustainability campaign. Yes, so these are some of the pictures from the event. As you can see here in the first row, that was our handover ceremony on land. And basically, the CEO, the CFO, and the board of directors at Mercedes-Benz came to Manado to celebrate this wonderful event that contributes to environmental sustainability. And in the second row, in the bottom row, those are pictures of the underwater handover ceremony we had, because the CFO dived with us to not only do a monitoring session but also do a handover ceremony. So yes. So why is it important or crucial to do impact investing in coral conservation? Well, it's really impactful and worth it to invest in coral conservation because it has environmental impacts, economic impacts, and social impacts. So, first of all, by doing coral conservation like us at Reformers, we are doing biodiversity conservation with uplifting the amount of new species and increasing the abundance and variation of biodiversity in the area. And then aside from that, there's also the research and innovation aspect, which is also present in other coral conservation projects. As researchers and scientists are constantly finding new ways on how to improve coral health and preserve our reefs. And third, there's increased climate resilience. So, for example, at Reformers, because we specifically choose resilient corals to plant, then that increases the resilience of the habitats that we're building, and we're creating more strong and more vigorous ocean habitats. And for economic impacts, like I said in my earlier slides, corals derive so many economic benefits from the fisheries industry to the tourism industry. So yes, and for social impact, right? Because coral reef ecosystems protect people and coastlines from various natural disasters that increases the climate resilience for people as well and coastal communities. And aside from that, it also increases the education and awareness of coastal communities because, for example, at Reformers, we involve coastal communities in a lot of our work, since a lot of them are volunteers for our monitoring sessions. So these coastal communities become more educated about the importance of coral reef ecosystems. And finally, coral conservation, contributes to the long-term sustainability of all these three categories. So environmentally, economically, and socially. Okay, so how can coral conservation projects secure impact investing? So first, it is really important to create, of course, a well-defined project plan that aligns with the objectives of impact investment. So focusing on sustainability and having impact goals that are clear. Second, it is really, really important to identify impact investors who share the project's same goals, environmentally and socially. So this includes, impact-focused funds and individuals. Third, it is super important to develop a pitch that's engaging and persuasive, and of course, demonstrates the project's impact and, of course, potential financial returns that addresses the concerns environmentally and financially. Then fourth, it is important to ensure legal and regulatory compliance while committing to transparent reporting on the project's impact. So no greenwashing or no lying about any of the statistics or numbers. It is so important to be honest and transparent. And lastly, a project has to establish clear key performance indicators and regularly measure the project's impact. This is what we do, of course, at Reeformers through our monitoring activities. We're always measuring our new impact, whether it's biodiversity, coral recruitment, etc. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to my presentation. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. And if you want to know more about Reeformers and what we do, and you want to support our work, this is our Instagram and our website. Our Instagram is at reeformers.id. Our website is reeformers.org. And of course, if you want to get in contact with us for maybe potential collaborations, you can email us at info@reeformers.org. And here is the phone number for our WhatsApp. Thank you so much.